Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Austin from Ohio. The other day, I made a video and I showed that you could not get the text for HR127, call it what it is, a national registration. And with a little luck and a little deep digging, I found it. I found the text for the bill HR127, and we are just going to go through some of it because this is very important. And keep in mind the whole time, this has nothing to do with safety. This has nothing to do with protecting people. This has nothing to do with keeping your kids safe. This has everything to do with the disarmament of the American people. I just want to make that clear. This is another step to disarm the American people, and this is the most tyrannical law, potential law to date that I have seen. I didn't even have to read it. I said that in my video the other day. I did not even have to read this to know that it was a national registry. And by reading a little bit of it, guess what? I was right. And wait till you see how they define such terms in here, such weapons. This is to disarm the American people. They will know every single one. They will come and take it because the New World Order cannot succeed until the United States of America is no more. This is the last thing standing in their way. Okay, we're probably going to do this in a two-part because there's a lot of stuff in here, but let's go ahead and start reading. A bill to provide for the licensing of firearm and ammunition possession and the registration of firearms, and to prohibit the possession of certain ammunition. And what do you think that certain ammunition is? The act may be cited as the Sabika-Sheik Act, Firearm Licensing and Registration Act, licensing of firearm and ammunition possession, registration of firearms, firearm licensing and registration system in general, Chapter 44, Title 18, whatever, licensing of firearm and ammunition possession, registration of firearms. The Attorney General, through the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, shall establish a system for licensing the possession of firearms or ammunition in the United States and for the registration with the Bureau of each firearm present in the United States. They told you right there. All firearms are on this list. Every single gun in the United States will have to be registered, and you'll find out later, insured through the ATF, through the Attorney General, and established on this national database. Firearm Registration System. Required information. Under the Firearm Registration System, the owner of a firearm shall transmit to the Bureau the make, model, serial number of the firearm, the identity of the owner of the firearm, the date the firearm was acquired by the owner, and where the firearm is or will be stored, and a notice specifying the identity of any person whom in any period of time during which the firearm will be loaned to the person. Deadline for supplying information. Transmission required by paragraph 1 shall be made. In the case of a firearm acquired before the effective date of the section, within 3 months after the effective date of the section, or in the case of a firearm acquired on or after the effective date on the date the owner acquires the firearm. Database. Attorney General shall establish and maintain a database of all firearms registered pursuant to this subsection. All firearms registered. And we just learned up at the top that the database is for all firearms in the United States. This is a national registry, like Adolf Hitler did before he disarmed and exterminated mass amounts of people. I'm sorry, guys, I just get so angry about this stuff because this is freedom. This is the New World Order trying once again to destroy the freedom of the individual in this country. People need to know about this. If I can, I will leave a link to the text in the description box, if not in the comments, because they don't give you it on congress.gov. You have to go to govtrack.us. GovTrack us. That's funny. Attorney General shall make the contents of the database accessible to all members of the public, all federal, state, and local law enforcement authorities, all branches of the United States Armed Forces, and all state and local governments as defined by the Bureau. So, all of these people, including the military, will know what weapon you have or weapons, how much ammunition you have, where it is located, who you are. The Second Amendment states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You think that's clear enough for these communists? Shall not be infringed. This is unconstitutional. This is an illegal law. It is unlawful to establish this law because it goes against the Constitution of the United States, which is the supreme law of the land. Licensing system requirements. General license. Except as otherwise provided in this subsection, the Attorney General shall issue to an individual a license to possess a firearm and ammunition if the individual has attained 21 years of age after applying for the license, undergoes a criminal background check conducted by the National Instant Criminal Background Checks, the NICS system, which we know that, undergoes a psychological evaluation conducted in accordance with paragraph, and the evaluation does not indicate the individual is psychologically unsuited to possess a firearm. Successfully completes a training course certified by the Attorney General in the use, safety, and storage of firearms, includes 24 hours, demonstrates that on issuance of the license, the individual will have in effect an insurance policy issued under subsection D. Oh look, my phone is freezing again. Isn't that lovely? Every time I get on here now to do a video for you guys on something very important, something happens to where this happened the other day when I was reading the Constitution. Happened when I was on greatreset.com. Oh, there it goes. Thank God. Okay. So, the Attorney General will only give you permission. You will only get permission from the Crown if you have all of these things. And the insurance policy, guys, I hope you know, is not just for your rifle or for your handgun. It is for each individual bullet that you might have. Antique firearms, they're even coming after the antiques, guys. So dust off your muskets and get ready to turn them in. Yeah. Here we go. Military-style weapons. Attorney General shall issue to an individual a license to own and possess a military-style weapon. The individual is a holder of a license issued under subparagraph A. After applying for this license, completes the training course, blah, blah, psychological evaluation, in compliance with their standards, which we all know their standards are pretty high. As deemed necessary by a licensed psychologist involved in the evaluation. Oh, look at this. Also, psychological evaluation interviewed any spouse of the individual, any former spouse of the individual. So, your ex-wife or your ex-husband, if you want to own a, quote, military-style rifle, a sporting rifle is what it is, a sporting rifle. If you want to own a sporting rifle, you better call your ex up and say, hey, we're going to have to do this. Whatever. Denial of license. The Attorney General shall deny such a license to an individual. Individual is prohibited by federal law from possessing a firearm. Individual has been hospitalized. With a mental illness, disturbance, or diagnosis including depression, homicidal ideation, suicidal ideation, attempted suicide, or addiction to a controlled substance within the meaning of the Controlled Substances Act, or alcohol, or brain disease, or on account of conduct that endangers self or others. So if you like to kick back and have a drink at the end of the day, you ain't allowed to have any guns. Shall deny a license if, you don't go with your psychological evaluation, chronic mental illness or disturbance, brain disease, addicted to controlled substance, has attempted suicide, prior psychological treatment. And you also got to think this stuff is arbitrary. So let me give you an example. Well, I gave you one with the drink, but let's see. Chronic mental illness. So let's say that you have like ADHD. That's considered a mental illness. You're not allowed to have a gun. Suspension of license under indictment for a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year. Revocation of license. If you become prohibited by federal or state law from possessing a firearm, such individual shall immediately return the license and surrender all firearms and ammunition owned or possessed by the individual to the Attorney General. Well, they're also making laws to make us all criminals for nothing, so, yep, you'll have to give it up. A license to have a firearm. Something that is a human right. I'm just going to go through this stuff here. I just mainly want to put this out and highlight some points. Please read on your own time. We're just going to go through here. Here we go. Military-style weapon defined. You're going to get a kick out of this. Any of the firearms or copies or duplicates of firearms in any caliber known as Norco, Mitchell, Polytechnologies, Avtomat, Kalashnikovs, Action Arms, Israeli Military Industries, Uzi and Galil, Beretta, AR-70, Colt, AR-15, Fabrique National, FN, FAL, FN, LAR, and FNC. This stuff here, revolving cylinder shotguns, such as similar to the Street Sweeper and Striker 12. Semi-automatic rifle that has an ability to accept a detachable magazine. That's all rifles. ARs, I should say. Sporting rifles. Pistol grip, folding or telescoping stock. Flash suppressor. Grenade launcher. Here we go. Here's a military-style rifle. Semi-automatic pistol has an ability to accept a detachable magazine. Has at least 2 ammunition magazine attached to the pistol, outside of the pistol grip. Threaded barrel, blah, blah, blah. That's all of your pistols, actually. A semiotic version of an automatic firearm. Okay. That's a lot of weapons right there. I can save you some time and just tell you that this is all firearms. A pistol grip that protrudes conspicuously beneath the action of the weapon. This is what communists do. The table of sections for such chapter is amended by adding at the end of the following: licensing of firearm and ammunition, possession, deadline for establishment. Within 1 year after the date of this enactment of the Act, the Attorney General shall prescribe final regulations to implement the amendments made by this subsection. Yeah, so within 1 year after this passes, they can still put final regulations to implement and amendments made by this subsection. It shall be, here we go. It shall be unlawful for a person to possess a firearm or ammunition unless a person is carrying a valid license issued under Section 932C1. In case of a firearm owned by the person, the firearm is registered to the person under Section 932. In the case of a firearm owned by another person, the firearm is so registered to such other person, and such other person has notified the Attorney General that the firearm has been loaned to the person in possession during the loan period specified in the notice. Unlawful for a person to transfer firearm ammunition to a person who is not licensed. Unlawful for a person to sell or give firearm ammunition to another person unless the person has notified the Attorney General of the sale or gift. So no private transactions. Or if your buddy wants to borrow your gun to go and shoot at the range because it's cool and he likes it, that's nobody else's business. Oop, gotta tell the government. Gotta tell Papa. Look at this stuff, guys. Oh, look at this. And if you knowingly violate, you shall be fined not less than $75,000, more than $150,000, imprisoned not less than 15 years and not more than 25 years, or both. So, if you have an unregistered weapon, you're looking at a 15 to 25 year prison sentence. Yes, this is absolutely a national registration. The next step is a confiscation, full out, of firearms in this country. And then the New World Order can be established. Oh, here we go. Unlawful for a person to possess ammunition that is 50 caliber or .50 caliber or greater. Unlawful for any person to possess a large capacity ammunition feeding device. Large capacity to them is standard capacity, by the way. So to them, you can't have anything. You can't have any 5.56. Can't have any ammunition besides 22s, 38s, 45s, things like that. Still got to get it registered though, or else you're going to go to jail, prison, 15 to 25 years. Here we go. The term large capacity ammunition feeding device means a magazine, belt, drum, feed strip, or similar device that has a capacity of, or that can be readily stored or converted to accept more than 10 rounds of ammunition, but does not include an attached tubular device designed to accept the capable of operating only with 22 caliber rimfire ammunition. So they literally want you to have bolt action 22s. So when they come rolling up on you with automatic M4A1s, you will not be able to defend yourself. Or, in the case of criminals, they're not going to listen to this. Well, quote, criminals, because this is going to make criminals out of a lot of people. I would say people with evil intent. They're not going to listen to this. So if you got a pistol or a rifle that holds more than 10 rounds, you got a large capacity ammunition feeding device. Mine holds 12. Large capacity ammunition feeding device. Oh, let's see. $50,000 fine, not more than $100,000. In prison, not less than 10 years and not more than 20, or both. And that is the end of it. Because they didn't really need to go all out. I actually thought it was longer. But I started reading down through it and I said, you know what, I got to make a video. This, of course, is a national registry and pretty much an almost outright ban on any ammunition besides small ammunition. This is what they have been wanting for a long time. And, of course, as these things always happen, in order to get this passed through, after they introduce it to the Senate and before it goes to Creepo's desk, you are going to see an uptick in certain events. False flag events, I should say. I won't say the word, but false flag events. You know what I'm referring to. This is illegal under the Constitution. This is illegal. This is what communist countries do. And if I get banned for a week showing you guys the text of this, then it's worth it, honestly. But please just download this video. Save it. Record it. Here's an idea. Play my video, but record it on your phone if you can do that. I will provide the link so you can read it for yourself. But this is... I don't even know what to say about this. So unlawful. It's going to make a criminal out of so many people, so many good people. You have any idea how many people in this country own firearms? Okay, let's say for the sake of this conversation that they are correct. Anybody with a gun is crazy dangerous, going to kill somebody. We would all have been dead a long time ago. I never would have been born. You might never have been born. People have had guns in this country since our inception. Hundreds of millions of people own firearms. If we were the problem, people would really know it. But guess what? Good people are not the problem. You know how many people I know that own guns? A lot. You know how many people I know would go and commit some crime using that gun? 0. This is absolutely... I really don't even know what to say. I really don't. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be the other day when I told you guys that I don't even have to read it to know what it is. A national registry. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the link right now. Copy. There. Now I can put it in the description. Oh my Lord. Speaking of which, let's pray to the Heavenly Father. 1 second, as soon as I get back to the top of this. The Lord sees all evil. It's going to get real, guys. They're the Great Reset. They have to get it done. They have to disarm the American people. Okay. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not unto temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Get this out, guys. Spread awareness. This needs to be shared far and wide, shouted from the rooftops, because of course it doesn't apply to them. The people behind the New World Order. The link is below.